Let's talk about consensus algorithms and different kinds of consensus mechanism. Last lecture we talked a little bit about proof of work and proof of stake in the consensus mechanism. Now we are going to dive into consensus mechanism and different kinds of them based on validation, voting, and authentication based. So you can see we have three consensus based algorithm. So these are validation, voting, and authentication. Let's start with what is consensus algorithms. So it is basically helps us guarantees that all node in the networks are synchronized and the transactions are valid. They are very important part of blockchain ecosystem because that's how you know the transactions are regularly verified and in fact valid. And as you can see that we have three kinds of consensus algorithms that we categorized into. Today we are going to look into some of these, as it doesn't make sense to go all over them, but you may feel free uh, to look them all when you have free time. So let's begin with proof of work. Proof of work involves miner, and they are basically solving complicated mathematical puzzle to produce the next block. Whosoever solves the puzzle in given time, in the case we are taking example of Bitcoin, that is 10 minutes, the miner who solves the puzzle gets to decide the next block and also gets the reward for solving the puzzle. Now coming to proof of stake. So proof of stake gives a randomized process to figure out who gets the chance to produce next block based on amount of stake they hold. So in my previous lecture, I have given the example of the account containing 100 Ethereums and the other account containing 50 Ethereums. So they get a random chance, but the randomized proof of, the probability of the 100th containing Ethereum, it's more compared to 50 containing Ethereum. So now proof of activity. So what is proof of activity? Proof of activity, it's a hybrid of proof of work and proof of stake. It basically combines best of the both worlds. So it is taking the best of proof of work and proof of stake, and it creates its unique consensus algorithm. So that's why we call them the hybrid of proof of work and proof of stake. Now, these were some validation-based consensus algorithms. Now we are going to see voting-based consensus algorithm. So the first one is delegated proof of stake. It is similar to proof of stake, but contrast to that, user can stake their coins and they vote for a particular number of delegates. For example, 10, 20, or whatever it is. The delegate then gets the chance to mine the next block or to produce the next block itself. Now there is Ripple as well, but we are not going here to the Ripple. You can feel free to Google what is voting based algorithm, consensus algorithm. Coming to authentication based algorithm, we have only one that is important, that is proof of identity. Now, what is proof of identity? It's basically a cryptographic evidence for the user's private key that is cryptographically attached to a specific transaction. These kind of consensus algorithms that may be popular in private blockchain, hybrid blockchain, enterprise blockchain, where you only let authorized party to produce your next block. So it is very private kind of thing. So that's why you are allowing the authorized party itself, to whom you trust or you don't. According to that, you give the rights to them to produce the next block. So that's it. And all right, with that said, I had helped you learn something about blockchain consensus algorithm. Next, we are going to deep dive into how Bitcoin actually works.